Hi, welcome to another video from the Quantum Prophet. Today I'm going to talk about how to meditate. The question I often see on Twitter or get from people is how to actually do it, when to find the time, and how to overcome challenges people seem to experience with it. Today, more than ever in our world, I think it's really important to be able to find a little bit of time to quiet our minds and reconnect with Source. Meditation is a great way to do that, and it's not really as difficult as a lot of people make it seem. I think the most challenging parts are the things I'm going to cover in this video. So let's just get right to it. The most important thing to start with is, when am I going to meditate? All of us are so busy with life between work, kids, school, projects, hobbies, day drinking. Okay, just kidding on that last part. Hopefully you don't do that. But if you do, no judgment. But between all the things we do in our lives, it's just hard to find time to do it. So when can we meditate? I found over, again, like I said, 30 years of practice, and not all of that doing rigorous practice. I've taken some long periods off from meditation too. But I found that the most beneficial, or should I say the easiest time for me, is either in the morning right after waking up or in the evening just before going to bed. It seems relatively easy to pencil in just a little bit of time waking up early or to go to bed early, or since a lot of times most of us lay there awake for a while before falling asleep anyway, to just utilize some of that time instead of worrying about what's going on the next day. Just use some of that to meditate. So there we've got our time, either before waking, before getting out of bed, or before going to sleep. So that would probably tell us, or should tell us, the where, which is in bed. I know a lot of people, we all have this kind of cliche idea of the guy or the woman sitting in the lotus position with legs crossed, spine straight, hands clasped, or in the little holding the fingers together. And if you do that, or you can find time and space to do that, that's great. But the fact is, a lot of us just don't have the time or the space or opportunity to do that. Laying in bed is a pretty natural thing. It's an area that's supposed to be quiet and relaxing. So if you do it before getting out of bed in the morning or when going to sleep at night, you're in bed. Should be in a semi-relaxed state. So we've got our times, we've got our place. So let's talk about how to do it. One thing that I like to use that I've really come more dependent upon lately is the use of some kind of music. Specifically putting in some earbuds and listening to some relaxing classical music, or lately I've discovered this binaural beats meditation music that's really nice, and I'll put a link below so you can check it out. I like to pop in some earbuds and with some relaxing music to block out all the sounds. If you have a family, kids, you live in a city, noisy neighbors, whatever, sound can be very distracting. So pop in some earbuds, put on some quiet music of some kind. The other thing I like to do is throw a t-shirt over my eyes, a towel, something just to block out any excess light, pollution, or anything like that. So you're in bed, you've got the towel over your eyes, you've got the earbuds in, you've got the music going. So now what? The most important foundational technique of all meditation that I've ever done is breathing. The most important thing, and if you only accomplish deep breathing, then you can call it good. Try not to set too high goals for yourself in the beginning, because meditation is very, very easy, but also incredibly difficult. That sounds paradoxical, but once you start trying it, or if you've already tried, you know what I mean. So the kind of breathing that I recommend, and that is most often prescribed, is called prana breathing. Prana breathing is basically deep breathing that starts from the abdomen. 99% of the time, or pretty much all the time, most of us breathe a very shallow breath that originates in the chest. The chest goes out, the chest goes in. Prana breathing originates from breathing from the lowest abdomen. The easiest way to do prana breathing is to literally push your stomach out like you're pretending like you're fat. Push your stomach out, and as you do that, you will automatically draw a breath in. So as you're laying there listening to your music, starting to relax, push your stomach out, and that will be the start of your breath. And then in almost a wave-like pattern, draw the breath in, going up your chest, up to the top of your chest. Once you get it there, then start exhaling, and exhale in the reverse motion. Exhale from the top of your chest all the way down to your abdomen, and then repeat the process. Push your abdomen out, draw the breath in, push it out for all the way up to your chest, take that deep breath, and then start letting it go in the same pattern. Let it out from down below, let it go, push it out your chest, and keep doing that in a rhythmic pattern. As you do that, you'll find that you start to relax a little bit. Something else that I like to work into it is counting, because just breathing, the mind will still be chattering, thinking about what you have to do at work tomorrow, what you forgot at the store. So I like to work in counting, and I count my breath. I breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then as I breathe out, I count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get into a pattern like that. You want to take in as much air as you can without being uncomfortable or making yourself like kind of not feel good, but as much as you can comfortably. If you do that for a little while and you find that your mind is still racing, another technique that I like to do is actually visualizing the numbers. So while I'm counting, I'll actually visualize the numbers in my head, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3. That gives the mind something to focus on and takes it away from all those little thoughts. So instead of just breathing and counting, now I'm actually making my mind visualize something. Some people have trouble with visualization. So if you can't visualize the numbers, maybe you know how you do stick counting, like the slashes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe visualize the slashes. Whatever works for you. Keep breathing, visualize those numbers. I've found that sometimes my mind has gotten so accustomed to that it'll still start wandering, so I trick it again and I visualize Roman numerals, because that takes some actual thought. I, I, V. You get the point. It's getting the mind basically taken away from all those things it's worrying about, all that chatter, and focusing on something that's mundane and meaningless, but something that still takes just enough processing power to take it away from all that other stuff. As you continue to do this, you'll find that either A, your mind keeps chattering and you just keep counting, and maybe 10 to 15 minutes go by and the mind never stops, and that's okay. That's part of the practice of meditation. Several times when I meditate, that's exactly what happens. I never get past the point of my mind just chattering. Maybe I'll get little brief moments, but I spend that 15 minutes breathing, and just the deep breathing has great physical and mental benefits. I'll post some links at the bottom, and I think you'll find that there's a number of resources that say deep breathing alone is really good for you. So even if you just accomplish breathing, you've accomplished something. The sweet spot of meditation is sometimes I'll get to a place where I've done the counting and my mind really has quieted down. Like it's almost gotten to a state where I'm not thinking about anything else, I'm not worrying, I'm just in this nice rhythm. And then what I like to do is create visualization. I do this little thing, what I call like an inception style meditation, where I visualize myself meditating in what I consider to be the ideal circumstances. For me, that entails a nice little lotus pad out on a very soft, still pond in a peaceful, tranquil meadow with maybe some flowers and trees. I visualize myself walking up to that lotus blossom, sitting on it, feeling the softness of the petals, smelling the trees and the flowers, the breeze. And then in that meditation, I can really take off. And I've had some pretty profound experiences doing that. But again, keep in mind, that's not every time that happens. I think a lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what meditation is. And honestly, 95% of the time, it's just telling your mind to shut up. I mean, a lot of it is just listening to that mind chatter while breathing. But even in doing that, even if you just do the breathing and just do the counting and listening to that mind chatter, it's still very therapeutic. There's still a lot of value and benefit in that. It may not seem like it, but there is. So the other thing that I mentioned the music. The tracks, or the album that I'll list in the links, has a number of tracks and they're all timed at 15 minutes, which is really nice because that's a pretty nice, medium time to meditate. That time works well for me. It's not too short where I feel like it's and it's not too long where it's, tough to work in or whatever. So if you can find, music tracks that work for you that are 15 minutes, or maybe set a little timer or something like that. Timers can be problematic because if you find yourself anticipating it and you're counting down to when it is, that can take you out of it. So just find what works best for you. But that's basically the gist of it. So the when is before you get out of bed in the morning or before you go to sleep at night. Just get up a little bit early, set the alarm a little early, or go to bed just a little early. Take that time before falling asleep. The where is kind of a given based on that in your bed. Pop in some earbuds, play some mellow music, cover your eyes, and just start breathing. Start breathing and start counting. And that's all it takes to start a good meditation practice. You can go online and look up some resources for different types of meditations, different visualizations you can do. There's a ton of them out there. But don't be overwhelmed by having to do certain things or do it a certain way. Really, all meditation is breathing, connecting with the body, and disciplining the mind a little bit. Getting the mind to just stop chattering and stop worrying about all that crap. And it is difficult. It is. So don't beat yourself up if you meditate for 15 minutes and the whole time is just breathing, listening to your mind, blah, 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 blah. That's meditation a lot of times. And people who don't admit to that, they're just, I don't know what to say. I don't want to say anything derogatory, but I think they might be, you know, if they're a Buddhist meditation master who's been practicing for 30 years, then yeah, maybe they're getting into some state of like nirvanic bliss where they really tuned everything out. But there's a reason that Buddhist monks have incense, prayer wheels, bells, chants, different hand positions. It takes a lot to get the mind to stop focusing on all the crap of the daily world. So it's not a piece of cake, and hence the paradox of it's very easy, but it's also very difficult. So I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully I covered most of the topics that people are challenged with. If you have other questions or would like specifics, feel free to comment below. Hit me up on Twitter at my handle, The Quantum Prophet, and I'd be happy to give you any advice I can. My hope is that tonight when you go to bed, you'll take 10 to 15 minutes, you close your eyes, maybe pop in some earbuds, and you just do some deep breathing. Like I said, it's just that deep breathing is so beneficial. So even if you don't get past that, you've done a great job. Just be easy on yourself. But the more you do it, the more benefit you'll get from it. And although it's hard to quantify or state in, exact terms what the benefits is, you'll know when you do it. And if you do it for a while and you stop, you'll notice how much you miss it. So that's certainly been the case in my life and experience. So again, I hope this was useful. Appreciate you taking the time today. Peace, love, light to you, and many blessings as you experience your path of meditation.